Hi, and welcome back. So last time we had a look at starting to shape up the mesh of the model, and you can take that as far as you want. What we're going to do in this tutorial is just have a quick look at exporting the mesh off the plane and bringing it into Substance Painter, and so that you can start to detail the mesh more fully. Okay, so I've got the plane sitting here. It's not in its final form, but most of the surfaces on the actual plane itself are, they're getting there. So you want to have it in a reasonably final format before you take this step, but let's get it going on, okay? So what I need to do is select all the parts of my plane here, and I want to join them all into one mesh, okay? So I don't want the motor mounts. I've got a bit of a cockpit drawn up here. I don't want any of those parts, just the plain fuselage, wings, and tail planes. So let's just join those together. So an easy way to go, if you haven't used it before, you can hit your space bar, you can type in whatever function you're after. I'm just after a join, and I'm going to join all those together, okay, so that they're in one object. Will make life a little bit easier. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a look at what I've got in the way of modifiers. So we don't want to take those modifiers into Substance Painter, so we're going to apply those at the moment. So it's a good idea, have your file saved before you go through these steps. I should point out mine is, so let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to apply the subsurf and I'm going to apply the mirror. Okay, now I can do it all in one step. If your centers are moved around a bit, it may go a little out of whack. You might like to apply your modifiers before you join all your objects together if you're having problems and things are moving around a bit weird. But if you're using this sort of standard base file, you should be pretty right, okay? So the next thing that we need to do, if we're going to paint onto the surface of this, we're going to need to do a little bit of unwrapping to get it ready, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the UV image editor here on the bottom, and I'm just going to select that and zoom in, and then I'm going to go into edit mode for my plane, and I'm going to select all the surfaces. Now there's a few different ways that you can unwrap a model like this. You can get in, you can carve apart seams, and you can do it really carefully, and that is the ideal way to go. But today we're going to go the less than ideal, the quick but it works method. Okay, so I'm just going to hit U for unwrap, and the unwrap menu brings us up plenty of stuff here. The one we're going to go for is Smart UV Project. I'm going to click on that and leave it all as it is, and it's going to basically unwrap the meshes of the plane down the bottom there so that we can start to paint onto them. Okay, so that's pretty good. We're pretty much ready to go. What I'm going to do is do a save as, and I'll just give that a new number here. So I'll call that start file 7, so I can just keep track of what I'm actually doing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to export the object. Okay, so I'm going to export only what I've got selected. So I'll come down here to export, making sure I haven't got the motor or its motor mounts selected, just the plane and the bits we want to paint. And I'm going to come down here to, I want to export OBJ. It's one of the most basic multi-purpose kind of files for working in 3D. So let's go wavefront OBJ, and one thing that we need here is we just want to select selection only, and that's just going to make our life a little bit easier so that we don't have to deal with the motors. So I've got desktop selected, I'll give it a name, start file 7 OBJ is fine, so let's go export OBJ, and Blender's now done its work. Okay, so that's good. So the next thing we want to do is we want to bring it into Substance Painter. So Substance Painter is really good at getting refined looking paint effects, texturing effects onto your models. Okay, one of the things that really brings a model to life is that if you've got like dirt and grime and scratches and things like that on the model, then it starts to look a lot more realistic. If you go and have a look on the web at, like, search for a plane and have a look at it, you'll find they don't really look that perfect. You might imagine they do, but in reality, they tend to have little bits bolted back onto them and patches and scratches and wear and tear. So that wear and tear will make your model look a lot more convincing. So take some time. It's always good to have a look at some real-world examples. When you feel like you know where you're going, you might like to get onto Substance Painter. Now, if you are a student, and probably most people watching this video will be, you can download yourself you can get yourself a student version of this for free. Okay, fantastic. That's the best thing. It's full marks to the company for making that available. I certainly wish that more companies would make stuff available free for students. You know, it helps to set the standards, and you know, I think it benefits everyone in the long run. So yeah, that's just, you know, I think it's a great thing. So register yourself, download the software. You know, Substance Painter, Google search it. It's easy. So let's go Substance, and I'll just bring it up. Okay, so I'm just loading Substance Painter now. Okay, new version available. I won't worry about that. Nope. And I'll just get rid of that general sort of start thing. Okay, so I'm going to make a new file, and it brings up a whole lot of stuff. Specular glossiness, that is pretty much what we're going for. Yeah, so we're going to use PBR back in Blender. So we're going to go with this kind of standard DirectX document resolution. Let's crank that up a bit. Okay, no mesh selected, so we're going to select our OBJ that we're after, and it's on the desktop, and it's seaplane file 7.obj. I'm going to go open. Okay, that's all looking pretty good, and I'm just going to go OK to that and let the software do its thing. Okay, and I'm greeted with my plane comes in, and you can see here now I can scroll around this. Oops, I'll just recenter, so F recenters. And you can see that I've got a plane mesh, and it's ready for me to start working onto. It's actually a tremendous system. I can, you know, I can be lazy here just to get things going and show you I can drop on a smart material onto the object, and once it's done its thing there, you can see that it's brought in the texturing and it's looking nice. Okay, Substance Painter is going to let us paint onto the surface and get super, you know, nice looking results. So we can start to mix up some, you know, some shiny surfaces and some worn through surfaces, and we can add a bit of like carbon and grime where the motors would go, and, you know, scratches on the bottom where you might run over things in the water. That's probably, there's quite actually a bit in that. It's going to take you a little bit of time to do, get up and get running in Substance Painter. So I won't include actually working in Substance Painter in this video. Okay, you can see the basic setup. And so in the next video, we'll have a look at working in Substance Painter, getting the surfaces looking right, and then exporting them back out and to use in Blender with its new material system. Okay, so thanks for now.